You are an investor in Galaxy Digital, right? And this is a recommendation as well. We can't buy recommendations till after our subscribers, but that's one of the ones that really got hit hard, along with all cryptos, guys. I mean, if you're looking at cryptos, I mean, everyone's getting their ass kicked. If you just in Q4 of 2021, 50% of cryptos were down 80%. That was before pre-market crash, pre-deleveraging, pre-Fed going crazy. Like November they started, pre-Luna. So, you can imagine even the good names in our portfolio are down significantly, but you're going to see the cream rise to the top, and there's a lot of good names. But Galaxy's on that list of a stock that's great, that has gotten absolutely killed. But yeah, Daniel, why don't you give that a shot? Because I know you're very familiar with that and love Novogratz, at least listen to his calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like everything they're doing, and that guy is very kind on saying how it's, what do you say, getting smacked or it just dropped. The thing is down tremendously. And I'm down tremendously on this. So I think I replied to everybody that emailed me, Daniel@CurzioResearch.com, while I was away. And yes, I still like it, and there's no sugarcoating this. So what I'm about to say is not to avoid the absolute egg on my face, target on my back of any excuses of that nature. In hindsight, if you want to wait until it lists, because right now Galaxy Digital is on the Canadian exchange, they're waiting for approval, and that has gone slowly. I was hoping for that in the last quarter's update. They just reported Q2 earnings, so now we're going to have to wait again until at least quarter 3 or quarter 4, which is aggravating, don't get me wrong. That being said, the stock is down to what, $6 and change? I started buying this in the high 20s and low 30s, and then I've bought it on the way down. So that shows you how good I look right now. Couple of things about the thesis and overall. Number one, it's easy to say, hey, over the next 3 years, I'm bullish and here's why, when you're first getting into it. Now emotions and reality set in. I was dead wrong. I've been dead early. I've been buying over time. Quick rabbit trail here. Unless you have a Scrooge McDuck pile of money, you're going to invest over time as you get paid, or you have different investments come off for capital gains or whatever. So for me, I'm a $1,000 to $2,000 a month guy that I can allocate however I want to, depending on how tight I live to choose, i.e. going on vacation, stuff like that. So I've been buying, and now it's great because if the thesis works out, Frank, I'm buying at lower cost, lowering my dollar cost average in at a lower price. The flip of that emotion is the first few months when I'm starting to buy it and it's running up and you don't have any more money to buy. So that's just something you're going to have to deal with. Do you want to go, if you want to go ahead and take the plunge now before they get the U.S. approval, which they're still waiting on, don't get me wrong, the stock is down so much, I would definitely look into that. The other part of the thesis, in addition to moving over and being traded on a U.S. exchange, is big not only for the money that can flow into you, because the U.S. is the leader in capitalism, it's the world markets. Your stock trades here, it's going to be easier to get funds to invest in you. So I think that would be good from a macro standpoint. The other thing is their acquisition of BitGo, huge crypto custodian holder that does a lot of things across wallets, has a lot of users. They're end up paying more for that, Galaxy Digital is, but they have to wait on the U.S. approval listing to kind of close that deal and issue shares. So there's a lot of moving pieces here. I say all that. Yes, I'm still buying stock. What I like to see, Frank, is that when crap hits the fan, when you're down, when you go through bear markets, just like you always say to our listeners, hey, we want to be there for you. Nobody cares when our recommendations go straight through the roof. Everybody cares when they're down, and a lot of them have gotten hit with the broader markets. So what I like to see from Galaxy Digital, and again, this doesn't guarantee anything, but it's good to see when you're investing from a business perspective. They reported first quarter 2022 results on May 9th, Frank. On May 11th, a couple days later, they announced the board of approval for share repurchase program, and that got approved, and they were going to buy back about 10% of their shares. Frank, if you're investing in somebody and a CEO and the stock starts tanking, what do you want to see? You want to see him step up and buy. So that's a good thing. Then on the 13th, 2 more days later, they provided an update capital and liquidity position. Then on the 16th, they announced that, hey, we got this TSX approval to buy back shares. And then Mike Novogratz put out a not huge, but a couple page letter on the 18th. So I say all that because that's positive to see. It does make me feel better, I admit, as a shareholder and getting smacked on it. I just want to see this thesis play out. And if I'm wrong, if they don't get listing, if they're not going to do the acquisition with BitGo, if management doesn't continue and be profitable across all these asset lines of revenue, then I'll have to say, hey, I was wrong, take my lumps. And it's a big loss. You can stop me here. I don't know how much I want to go into Why, everybody just needs to be cautious with position sizing and stop loss on a personal basis. We can't give that kind of advice. I can give you what I think, but Galaxy Digital, that's it in a nutshell. It's
I mean, look, it is crypto, guys, and we're very clear when it comes to crypto. You even heard my reaction when I first heard when you read about Fidelity allowing 20% to be, Bitcoin crypto. I thought that was an insane amount, right? I think it's 5% allocation. But it is crypto. It's a new industry, and we're always clear on that. This is very, very risky. What I like is the risk you're taking, the reward is definitely worth the risk compared to taking the same, risk that you're taking in NASDAQ and even some of those stocks down 70% plus if you're looking at SPACs and recent IPOs. So now, for your question, should you buy it now, New York Stock Exchange? I mean, that's up to you. I really can't tell you when to buy it. I will say this, though. I see, this is listed in Toronto and also on over the counter. I do see a lot of mining companies that I've dealt with over, the past 20 years. And that, as they get bigger, they're like, yeah, we want to get on U.S. exchanges, increase volatility. That adds more capital. You got to be careful. It does. That's the goal. But you have to realize in Toronto, you can't short the way you could short in the U.S. In the U.S., you can make up a whole freaking story. We've seen it before. Some good short sellers out there, you can make up a whole story. They got lawyers. Before the story even breaks, the second it breaks, you got 40 lawyers suing you. It's just a whole coordinated effort through so many different sites. The Seeking Alphas, whatever. Just a whole coordinated effort of the short report, and they'll bring down the stock. And they even say in the disclaimer, we could be out of this position by the time you're reading this. So you open up your door to that when you're on New York Stock Exchange, when you open up to the larger U.S. exchanges. So you have to be careful and make sure that you're not full of it. Well, when it comes to Galaxy Digital, these guys are not full of it. They're the gatekeeper for big Wall Street investment banks. That's why Goldman Sachs signed a deal with them. This is why Morgan Stanley signed a deal with them. They're in so many different deals that I've seen early on within crypto. I know crypto's gotten nailed, lately, but I'm talking about for the last 4 or 5 years, the deals that they have access to, their network, getting in these things super early. These guys have an amazing network. If you're a believer in crypto, that Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000, and I'm not talking about this year, next year, 3 years, even if it's 5 years, these guys are going to benefit significantly. They're well positioned. They know what they're doing. They're great. And that's why the biggest banks in the world are going to them. Granted, Novogratz has that Goldman Sachs background, but they have the right connections to do this, and they've been doing it perfectly, right? Following regulatory structures that are so muddy right now, and now they're getting better. And, Biden's executive order and stuff to really start regulating the industry has helped tremendously, and even Novogratz said that. But this is a name that I like. It's gotten killed. You can't look at it and say, this name is great. It's like looking at any stock that's gotten killed. When you see the leveraging, the whole industry is down 75, 80% in crypto. Everything's getting murdered right now. With that said, there's a lot of great names. This is where the greatest innovation is coming from. And now there's 250 trillion in global assets finally that open up the door to crypto. I mean, you're looking at a tiny percentage of that coming in. I mean, just the Fidelities, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, you're talking about, well over $10 trillion in assets that are opening this up. And there's a reason why after Luna, after everything that's happened, Bitcoin's been holding pretty steady here at 31, 32,000. Yes, it went down to 23, 24 and down from 65, but it's been holding pretty steady in the last month, which has really seen a downturn in stocks outside of last week. But this is one of the premier names in the industry, and I think you got to look back and see where it is now and be like, holy shit, I can't believe that stock was trading at this price. You'll look back 2 years from now and be like, I cannot believe that. 3 years from, just like with Devon was trading at $5-6, right? Devon was trading at $6 in COVID. So that's one of these opportunities, I believe. But you have to be a believer in crypto, and remember, it is risky. Crypto is crazy volatile. And, you have to be willing to, this is speculative capital you should be using on this. So, I think we're in agreement there.